So what I thought we might talk about today is just some of those tips, and some of them really have me scratch my head a little bit. For instance, you suggest that the buyer who contacts you is seldom the highest paying buyer. And I'm thinking, well, all right, if somebody's reaching out and they're contacting me, they're probably really interested and they're probably going to offer me a good price. Well, what do you mean by that?
The buyer that contacts you has been looking at your company, they've been thinking about it, they know something about it already or they wouldn't have given you a call. And that doesn't mean that there isn't someone else out there who would have more value in the characteristics of your business. And I don't mean to be vague. That sounds kind of vague. But if you own a certain market niche and you're very good at it, but your ability to grow that niche is limited by your capital, there might be a company that's a little bit further away that's much larger, has the capital to grow that niche, to take your patented product or your intellectual property or to build another plant in another location. You can't do that, but they can. And they place a lot of value on that. And they're looking at your business not from the point of view of what are you doing, but what could they do with what you're doing. Where the company that contacted you may simply be interested in some additional manufacturing capacity. They may be interested in getting some technology that you have. And so they're placing a different value equation on it altogether.
Yeah. BJ, so I'm thinking if I'm the guy who's getting a call from one of you and it's like, okay, we've done some research, we found out that you're in a business that aligns with this client that we have and we think you might be a good buyer. If I'm taking the call, I'm thinking I'm already in the position of winning because you called me, I didn't call you. How do you get around that, and how do you make that work for the seller?
Well, we make it clear that you're not the only person we're calling, but you're among a relatively small group of people that should have interest in acquiring this business, because if you do, it'll fit your business model and there'll be some synergy and maybe a bolt-on acquisition. So you're not the only one we're calling. We're not desperate. We're calling you because you are a good fit, and there's a few others that are in the same situation.
Some people are astonished and ask the question, you mean you can just pick up the phone and call the president or CEO of a $500 billion a year company and they'll take the call? And the answer is yes. We've never had someone not take the call. So it comes down to being very careful about packaging the message that you're going to leave with the assistant, because you have to get through the operator, then you have to get through the assistant, and it's all about creating a sense of they're talking about things that make sense, but there's some things I'm not hearing, and it won't be any harm to return the call, and that's a critical step, is to be able to think about what you asked a couple minutes ago and what BJ just commented on, to know really what this company has that someone else might want. We've sold smaller engineering companies to the largest manufacturer of processing equipment for liquids in the world, and the process of going through that is, what is it that this company would benefit if they had this company under their wings?
So you talk about always running your business for the day you're going to sell it. It seems like that this process might take some time, and maybe that's the reason behind that thinking. That it's probably going to take anywhere from maybe 18 months to a few years to be able to find the right buyer or have the business ready for the right buyer.
Yeah, every business is in a different situation as regard to preparedness, but to do the market research that we do and to call people and get back, it takes a while. It's a warp speed would be a 6-month project. It's more like a year, 18 months, to your point.
Yeah.
A lot depends on, and you kind of hinted at it, Mike, the nature or the condition of the business at the time. Some businesses have some characteristics in their business, their operation, their marketing, something that they need to clean up for the right buyer to be attracted to them. And yes, then it can take 18 months or 2 years, because you're not going right to market. You're identifying some issues that they need to clean up for a buyer to be happy with what they see. The better they are in all areas of the business, the higher the multiple. So yeah, they could go to market now, but the multiple might be 4. But take 18 months or 2 years and fix a few things, and the multiple could be 5, 5.5, or 6. But as BJ said, if it's a good, well-run business that is fully ready to look good to an external buyer, 6 months on the inside, typically about 9.
That's correct.
Okay, great. We're gonna keep this conversation going. We'll do more in our next segment.